7 ancient structures that shouldn't exist. What if I told you that scattered around the world exist structures so impossible, so technologically advanced for their time, that they simply shouldn't exist? Monuments built with precision that challenges our modern machines, using techniques we've lost throughout history, and demonstrating scientific knowledge that supposedly we only acquired centuries later. Since I started studying archaeology, I've always encountered this disturbing question. How did ancient civilizations, supposedly primitive, manage to erect structures that today, even with all our technology, would be extremely challenging to replicate? How did they move stone blocks of hundreds of tons with millimetric precision? How did they calculate perfect astronomical alignments without modern telescopes? Today, we're going to explore 7 of these impossible structures that continue to challenge archaeologists, engineers, and scientists around the world. Constructions that seem to have been erected by civilizations that possess knowledge far beyond what our historical chronology suggests. Each of these structures tells a story that our official science still struggles to explain completely. Prepare yourself to question everything you think you know about humanity's past. And if you're passionate about archaeological mysteries like I am, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications, because we have a lot of incredible content about the most fascinating enigmas of human history. Puma Punku, the impossible stone factory. We begin our journey on the Bolivian Altiplano, more than 3,800 meters above sea level, where it rises as one of the planet's most enigmatic structures. Puma Punku, part of the archaeological complex at Tiwanaku. This site presents technical characteristics that completely challenge our understanding of pre-Columbian civilization's capabilities. What makes Puma Punku truly impossible is not just its age, estimated between 1,000 and 1,500 years, but the absolute mathematical precision of its construction. We're talking about stone blocks cut with perfect 90-degree angles, flat surfaces that vary less than a millimeter, and fittings so precise that a sheet of paper cannot pass between the joints. But here's what intrigues me most. These stones aren't made of common material. Many of the blocks are made of andesite, an extremely hard volcanic rock that is hard as 7 on the Mohs scale, almost as hard as steel. To work this material, tools even harder will be necessary, like diamond or tungsten tools. But ancient Andean peoples didn't even possess basic iron tools. Technical analysis reveals even more disturbing details. The blocks present perfectly circular holes, some with varied diameters, but perfectly smooth walls. Complex internal channels were excavated inside the stones, creating sophisticated drainage systems. Some stones have grooves at impossible angles, as if they had been molded when the material was still soft. Archaeologist Arthur Poznansky, who dedicated decades to the study of Tiwanaku, calculated that the precision of cuts at Puma Punku exceeds the tolerance of many modern industrial machines. Contemporary engineers who have visited the site openly admit that reproducing these structures today would be a significant technical challenge, even with our state-of-the-art equipment. Even more mysterious is the fact that many of these megalithic blocks were apparently moved over considerable distances. The nearest quarries are dozens of kilometers away, through rugged mountainous terrain. How did a civilization without wheels, without large draft animals, and without advanced metallurgical knowledge manage to transport and position blocks of up to 130 tons with such precision? The pyramids of Giza, cosmic mathematics in stone. Our second impossible structure takes us to the Egyptian desert, where the pyramids of Giza continue to challenge our understanding even after decades of intensive research. Although they are probably the most studied ancient structures in the world, they guard secrets that our science still hasn't been able to completely unravel. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, supposedly built about 4,500 years ago, is not just a megalithic tomb. It's a mathematical and astronomical encyclopedia, encoded in stone. Its base is 230 meters on each side, with a variation of only 2 centimeters between the 4 sides. Considering we're talking about a structure the size of 2 urban blocks, this precision is simply extraordinary. But the real impossibility of the pyramids lies in their embedded mathematical knowledge. The relationship between the height and the base perimeter corresponds exactly to the relationship between the radius and circumference of a circle. That is, the number pi is encoded in the structure with precision of several decimal places. This means the builders knew pi with a precision that European mathematics only achieved many centuries later. Even more impressive are the astronomical alignments. The pyramid is aligned with the cardinal points with a precision of 3 minutes and 6 seconds of arcade, an error margin of only 0.015%. The internal corridors point to specific constellations. An entire structure seems to have been designed as a three-dimensional astronomical observatory. The engineering behind construction continues to be an enigma. We're talking about approximately 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2.5 and 15 tons, some reaching 80 tons. These blocks were cut, transported, and positioned with millimetric precision. If workers placed one block every 2 minutes, working 10 hours a day, 365 days a year, it would still take more than 600 years to complete just the Great Pyramid. Recent analyses using cosmic muon technology have revealed unknown internal cavities, suggesting that our understanding of the pyramid's internal structure is still incomplete. These discoveries indicate that the pyramids may be even more complex than we imagined, with purposes that go far beyond simple royal tombs. Egyptologist John Anthony West argues that the mathematical and astronomical sophistication of the pyramids suggests a level of scientific knowledge that doesn't align with our conventional historical chronology. The precision of construction and complexity of embedded knowledge suggests a civilization with technical capabilities much more advanced than we traditionally attribute to ancient Egypt. Stonehenge, the Neolithic computer. Our third impossible structure transports us to the plains of Wiltshire, England, where Stonehenge continues intriguing researchers for more than 3 centuries. This megalithic circle, built in several phases between 3100 and 1600 BC, represents one of the most sophisticated architectural and astronomical achievements of Neolithic Europe. What makes Stonehenge truly impossible for its time is not just the transport and positioning of stones up to 50 tons, some brought from quarries located more than 240 kilometers away, but its function as a prehistoric astronomical computer capable of predicting eclipses with mathematical precision. Gerald Hawkins, Harvard astronomer, was the first to scientifically demonstrate that Stonehenge functions as a complex astronomical observatory. The monument marks not only solstices and equinoxes, but also lunar cycles of 18.6 years, the moon's extreme positions on the horizon, and can predict solar and lunar eclipses with surprising precision. Archaeoastronomical analysis reveals that Stonehenge incorporates knowledge about what modern astronomers call the Saros cycle, a period of 223 lunations after which eclipses repeat in similar patterns. This knowledge was only rediscovered by European astronomy in the 17th century. How did Neolithic peoples, supposedly without writing or formal mathematics, manage to calculate and incorporate these complex cycles into their architecture? Even more intriguing is the discovery that Stonehenge may have functioned as a perpetual calendar. Alexander Thom, engineer and archaeologist, demonstrated that the monument uses a precise unit of measurement, which he called a megalithic yard, equivalent to 0.829 meters. This unit appears consistently in hundreds of megalithic sites throughout Europe, suggesting a standardized measurement system much older than any historically known system. Stonehenge's acoustics also present characteristics impossible to be casual. Recent tests revealed that the stone configuration creates specific sound effects. Sound produced at the center are amplified and focused, while external noises are filtered. This sophisticated acoustics suggests the site was designed not only for astronomical observation, but also for ceremonies involving specific sound effects. Archaeologist Timothy Darville discovered evidence that Stonehenge may have been used as a healing center, based on beliefs in the therapeutic properties of the blue stones brought from Wales. This theory is supported by the high concentration of human bones with signs of disease and trauma found in the region, suggesting people travel great distances to seek healing at the site. Göbekli Tepe, the temple that rewrites history. Our fourth impossible structure is located in southeastern Turkey and literally rewrote our understanding of human civilization development. Göbekli Tepe, discovered in the 1990s by Klaus Schmidt, is about 11,500 years old, making it the oldest known religious structure of humanity. What makes Göbekli Tepe absolutely impossible for our historical chronology is that it was built by nomadic hunter-gatherers thousands of years before the invention of agriculture, the wheel, writing, or metallurgy. According to our traditional understanding, complex organized societies only emerged after the agricultural revolution. Göbekli Tepe completely challenges this narrative. The structure consists of enormous T-shaped limestone pillars, some weighing up to 16 tons and measuring more than 5 meters in height. These pillars were extracted from nearby quarries, using only stone tools, transported and erected with precision that would rival modern construction techniques. Even more impressive, the pillars are decorated with intricate reliefs representing animals: lions, boars, serpents, scorpions, foxes, and birds, executed with artistic mastery that suggests highly developed carving traditions. Archaeologist Klaus Schmidt estimated that Göbekli Tepe's construction would have required coordinated work of hundreds of people for several decades. This implies a level of complex social organization that supposedly didn't exist among hunter-gatherers. Even more intriguing, analyses of organic remains found at the site suggest thousands of people gathered periodically for feasts and ceremonies, coming from distant regions. Göbekli Tepe also presents sophisticated astronomical alignments. Pillar 43, known as the Vulture Stone, contains symbols that some researchers interpret as a star map representing specific constellations 11,500 years ago. If this interpretation is correct, it would suggest that the builders possess advanced astronomical knowledge and the ability to record complex celestial observations in stone. Perhaps the most mysterious aspect of Göbekli Tepe is its deliberate end. Around 8000 BC, the complex was carefully buried under tons of earth and stones, preserving it perfectly for posterity. Why would a civilization spend decades building a monumental structure only to bury it a few millennia later? This decision seems to have been planned and executed systematically, suggesting motivations we don't understand. The discovery of Göbekli Tepe forced archaeologists to reconsider the chronology of human civilization. The site suggests a human capacity for complex social organization, sophisticated art, and monumental architecture emerged much earlier than we thought. More importantly, it raises a possibility that other equally ancient structures are waiting to be discovered, potentially rewriting our understanding of civilization's beginnings. The stone spheres of Costa Rica, perfect geometry in the jungle. Our fifth impossible structure takes us to Costa Rica's dense forests, where hundreds of perfectly sculpted stone spheres continue baffling archaeologists since their discovery in the 1930s. Known locally as Las Bolas, these spheres present geometry so precise that it challenges our understanding of pre-Columbian civilization's technical capabilities. What makes these spheres truly impossible is their absolute geometric perfection. Precise measurements performed with modern equipment reveal that many of these spheres are perfectly round, with variations of only millimeters in diameters reaching 2 meters. Considering they were sculpted in granite, basalt, and other extremely hard rocks, using supposedly only stone tools, this precision is simply extraordinary. The spheres vary drastically in size, from small ones a few centimeters in diameter to gigantic ones of more than 2 meters and weighing up to 15 tons. More than 300 spheres have been cataloged, scattered across various regions of Costa Rica. Some found in organized groups suggesting specific astronomical or geometric arrangements. Doris Stone, archaeologists who extensively studied the spheres, discovered that many were originally positioned in precise alignments pointing to specific directions. Some of these alignments correspond to important astronomical points, like sunrise at solstices, suggesting the sphere's function as a type of observatory or three-dimensional calendar. Petrological analysis revealed that many of the larger spheres were made with rocks that don't exist naturally in areas where they were found. This means stones of several tons were transported through difficult tropical jungle terrain, some over distances of dozens of kilometers. How was this accomplished by peoples who supposedly didn't possess draft animals or advanced transportation technologies? Even more mysterious is the technique used to create these perfect spheres. Modern experiments to reproduce similar spheres using only stone tools proved to be extremely challenging and time-consuming. The precision achieved by the original spheres suggests stoneworking techniques much more sophisticated than anything documented among pre-Columbian peoples. Archaeologist Samuel Lothrop, who conducted the first scientific studies of spheres in the 1940s, noted that some present marks suggesting the use of specific tools for final finishing. These marks are consistent and uniform, indicating a standardized technical process that was applied repeatedly with industrial precision. Unfortunately, many of the spheres were moved from their original positions by farmers and collectors, destroying crucial archaeological information about their original arrangements. Some were damaged by people who believed they contained hidden gold or treasures. This destruction represents an irreparable loss of information about the original purpose and meaning of these impossible structures. Sacsayhuamán, Fortress of Impossible Blocks. Our sixth impossible structure transports us to the Peruvian Andes, on the outskirts of Cusco, where rises Sacsayhuamán, one of the America's most extraordinary architectural achievements. This Inca fortress, although its real purpose remains debated, presents construction characteristics that completely challenge our understanding of pre-Columbian civilization's technical capabilities. What makes Sacsayhuamán truly impossible is not just the colossal size of the stone blocks used, some weighing more than 200 tons, but the millimetric precision with which they were cut and fitted. We're talking about irregularly shaped stones, each unique, that fit perfectly without using mortar. The precision is so absolute that a sheet of paper cannot be inserted between the joints. Technical analysis reveals even more disturbing aspects. The blocks were cut at complex angles, creating three-dimensional contact surfaces that fit like pieces of gigantic puzzles. Each stone has unique contact faces, meaning each block was designed specifically for its exact position in the structure. This requires a level of planning and precision that challenges our understanding of Inca technical capabilities. Engineer Jean-Pierre Pratzi, who dedicated years to studying Inca construction techniques, managed to demonstrate that it's possible to shape stones using only bronze tools and percussion techniques. However, his experiments with small blocks took months to produce imperfect fittings. Extrapolating these techniques to blocks of hundreds of tons with perfect fittings remains a technical enigma. Even more intriguing is the transportation question. The nearest quarries are kilometers away, through rugged mountainous terrain. How were 200-ton blocks moved through valleys and elevations, then positioned with absolute precision in multi-level structures? The Incas didn't possess draft animals large enough, nor did they know the wheel for transportation. Sacsayhuamán's architecture also reveals advanced knowledge about seismic engineering. The Cusco region is geologically active, subject to frequent earthquakes. Sacsayhuamán's walls were designed with a slight internal inclination and flexible joints that allow the structure to move as a unit during seismic shocks. Earthquakes that destroyed Spanish colonial constructions left Sacsayhuamán practically intact. Spanish chronicler Pedro Cieza de Leon, who witnessed Sacsayhuamán shortly after the conquest, wrote that even the Incas themselves couldn't explain how the structure had been built, attributing its creation to ancestral times much earlier than the Inca Empire. This suggests Sacsayhuamán may be much older than traditionally assumed. Recent analyses using 3D scanning revealed that the structure has complex internal geometry, with sophisticated drainage channels and hidden chambers suggesting purposes beyond a simple fortress. The construction's mathematical precision and engineering sophistication indicate technical knowledge that seems anachronistic for a civilization that supposedly didn't know writing or formal mathematics. Newgrange, perfect Neolithic astronomy. Our seventh and final impossible structure takes us to Ireland, where Newgrange represents one of Neolithic Europe's most sophisticated architectural and astronomical achievements. Built approximately 5,200 years ago, this structure is older than Stonehenge and the pyramids of Giza, but demonstrates astronomical knowledge and construction techniques that seem impossible for its time. Newgrange is not just a megalithic tomb. It's an astronomical observatory designed with mathematical precision for a specific event that occurs only once a year. During days near the winter solstice, a ray of sunlight penetrates through a specific opening in the structure and perfectly illuminates the inner chamber for exactly 17 minutes. This astronomical precision requires knowledge about solar movement that supposedly didn't exist in the Neolithic period. Newgrange's construction reveals extraordinary technical sophistication. The circular structure is 85 meters in diameter and is covered by an artificial mound of stones and earth that has remained waterproof for more than 5,000 years. The 19-meter internal corridor is built with megalithic slabs that rise gradually toward the central chamber, creating a passage that functions as an architectural telescope. What makes Newgrange truly impossible is the precision of its astronomical alignment. The specific opening of the entrance, known as a roof box, was positioned with precision that allows sunlight to enter at an exact angle of only a few degrees. Considering that Earth's axis changes slowly over centuries due to precession, the fact that the alignment still works perfectly after 5,200 years suggests the builders understood and compensated for this complex astronomical variation. Archaeological analysis revealed that Newgrange was part of a larger complex of megalithic monuments, all aligned with specific astronomical events. The Bruna-Boyne complex includes more than 40 megalithic tombs, many with precise alignments for solstices, equinoxes, and other celestial events. This suggests systematic understanding of astronomy that was consistently applied in multiple structures. Even more intriguing are the spiral decorations found on Newgrange's stones. These spirals, executed with mathematical precision, may represent complex astronomical concepts like solar and lunar cycles. Some spirals are tripled, possibly representing the 3 days of winter solstice, when the sun appears to remain in the same position on the horizon. Newgrange's structural engineering also presents advanced characteristics. The drainage system keeps the interior completely dry for millennia, using construction techniques that include waterproof layers and sophisticated drainage channels. The stone vault of the inner chamber was built using a fitting technique that distributes weight, so the structure is self-supporting without need for internal supports. Archaeologist Michael O'Kelly, who rediscovered the solstice phenomenon at Newgrange in the 1960s, calculated that the probability of this alignment being casual is practically zero. The precision required to create this effect demonstrates astronomical knowledge and construction skills that challenge our understanding of Neolithic society's capabilities. Throughout this journey through 7 structures that shouldn't exist, a disturbing truth emerges. Our understanding of ancient civilizations' technical and scientific capabilities may be fundamentally incorrect. Each of these structures challenges specific aspects of our historical chronology and our assumptions about human technological development. What fascinates me most is a pattern that emerges when we analyze these structures together. All demonstrate mathematical, astronomical, and engineering knowledge that seems anachronistic for their times. All were built with precision that rivals or exceeds our modern capabilities. All suggest levels of social organization and cultural continuity much more sophisticated than we traditionally attribute to ancient societies. More importantly, these structures force us to question our fundamental assumptions about human progress. We assume technological development is linear and cumulative, that each generation builds upon the knowledge of the previous one. But what if this assumption is wrong? What if ancient civilizations possessed knowledge that was subsequently lost? What if there existed sophisticated technical traditions that left no written records, but whose physical achievements still testify to their existence? Modern technologies are revealing aspects of these structures that remained hidden for centuries. LiDAR scanning reveals complex internal geometries. Material analyses discover impossible compositions. And computer simulations demonstrate that these constructions incorporate engineering principles we only fully understand today. Each new discovery adds more complexity to the mystery instead of simplifying it. Perhaps the most important lesson from these impossible structures is humility. They remind us that, despite all our modern technology, there are still aspects of the human past we don't completely understand. They suggest our ancestors were much more capable and sophisticated than our official history recognizes. They challenge us to keep our minds open to possibilities of discoveries that may reshape our understanding of who we are and where we came from. If you feel inspired by these architectural mysteries and want to discover more about our ancestors' impossible achievements, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. We have much more content coming about lost ancient technologies, impossible artifacts, and discoveries that are rewriting history books. And leave a like if this journey through impossible structures awaken your curiosity. It helps us continue exploring the most fascinating mysteries of human experience. Until the next exploration, keep questioning, keep discovering, and remember, our ancestors' greatest achievements are still waiting to reveal all their secrets.